joining us today, Live Music Nation podcast. I'm your host, Jake Gill. Today, we are with Patti Des. She's with Des Fest. Patti, thanks for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Hey, give us a little background on you, Patti. Where'd you grow up, and talk a little bit about your career?
So I grew up in East Helena, Montana, which is about 5 miles east of Helena, which is the capital. My background, basically, I've always been in some sort of customer service, whether it's been waitressing. Right now, I'm currently a realtor. And so, over the years, it's always been dealing with human beings. I love, meeting people, helping people. So that's just kind of, I've always been involved in something that has to do with that.
Perfect. Okay, let's jump in. Tell us about the festival.
So right now, Des Fest is a 3-day music festival. It starts on Thursday, August 17th. And so basically, we have a gorgeous venue out in the country. It's on 9 acres, and it is kind of a gentleman's ranch, if you will. It's been there for quite a while. And
wait. What's a gentleman's ranch?
Oh, I would guess so. It's just kind of on a smaller scale. We're not running cattle or anything like that. So there's horses, you got your barns and your outbuildings and things like that. They have a couple of horses. There used to be a few more, but they've kind of scaled that down now. But just a lot of space for animals and critters and barns and all that. But just we're not, they're not making money off running
Sure.
Animals and stuff anymore. So basically the property is just this massive lawn with, big pond in the background, and it's, you got kind of the rolling hills all around you. And it's just this, it's just an incredible area. And so once people get there, I think they understand it. Our challenge has been getting people to come because of where it's located. It is a little bit outside. It's about 7 miles outside of Helena.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not. It isn't. I mean, people travel much further for other events in our area. In Montana, most of our cities are about an hour apart. So it's not unusual for me to travel anywhere from an hour to 3 hours to go see a concert, which, it's just what we do.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, no, 7 miles isn't bad at all. But I think the area has kind of a reputation for being very dry and dusty and sagebrushy because it's an area called Birdseye. And so that's west of Helena, but it just kind of has a reputation of being like, oh, why are we going to go out in the dust,
Right.
But this property is, just lush green grass with the pond there, surrounded by trees and hills. And it's just, it's incredible. So once people actually get there, once we get them to the location, they're like, oh, okay, now I understand this place is incredible, Once it's just about getting people there has been our challenge.
Gotcha. Okay. Tell us about the festival. What's it look like? What's it sound like? What's it smell like? Give them the details.
What does it look like? So again, out kind of in the country, we have some local bands, and we mix that with some kind of upcoming sounds from around the country. So, in the past, last year was 2 days and our first year was 1 day. And so this is our 3rd year. We're pretty new. Just kind of trying to build that slowly, trying to figure out, where we fit in the community and, for funds and whatnot. So this year we've kind of taken it up a notch. We've got next level sound production and stage. So we're really just throwing a lot of money into the bands and production part of it. So, we are generally sound more like a Red Dirt, that's kind of where we're aiming for sound wise, but we mix that with local bands because I know a lot of people aren't here, I guess, aren't necessarily as musical obsessed as I am, I guess. And so a lot of people aren't necessarily have their pulse on what's new, and they don't really care about what's up and coming. And so try to mix that with local stuff because they have a following. They'll bring, those crowds. And so try to have a healthy mix of new stuff and, new artists from around the country, and then mixed with the locals, so that it also keeps it affordable as well. So right now we have bands from Idaho, Oregon, locally Helena, and then some towns outside of Helena. But we are currently trying to lock down a headliner for Saturday night. So we're still searching for that. But
Gotcha. Where'd the idea for a festival come from?
you know, I always tell people, and depending on what your beliefs are, I didn't come up with this. This chose me. I was on a hike one day with my kid, and I just kind of had all this information downloaded to me that I needed to do this, and that it was like, I know it's so weird. And every time I was like, well, this doesn't make sense. Why would I do that? Like, how would I even pay for that? And then the information would instantly just pop in my brain. And so I guess, my parents have always had a family reunion there every summer. And so gathering of people in this location has always been a thing. We always have, barbecues and get-togethers, and people bring their campers and all that. And that's always been a thing. And then we decided, maybe we should bring a band one of these times. But then when we started researching that, it's like, okay, well, does it make sense to, hire a band for $1,000 for a bunch of family members, right? So that's it just kind of started evolving that way, so I don't know. It's kind of a woo-woo, I guess, with the whole, having that information come to me and tell me that, this is what was going to happen.
You've been doing this for how many years now?
This is going to be number 3.
Number 3. Perfect.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at this ranch, man, and I just pulled up a photo on your Facebook. This is where it's at.
Correct. Yep.
Oh, perfect. No, that's beautiful. Okay. So why put on a festival? Why take the risk? Why take the chance?
Right. I mean, I ask myself that every year. I live for music. I live it. I listen to it every single day. I travel all summer, actually all year round, to go to concerts and festivals. For me, it is about quality of life. I honestly feel the most alive when I'm in those locations and I'm surrounded by other people that are in the same mindset, and just the energy from those things. Music is healing, and then to combine that with being outdoors in such a beautiful location, I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. All right. Well, I always ask these 2 questions in every interview. First is, you've seen a lot of concerts. What is the best performance you've ever seen in your entire life?
Oh man, that is really, really tough one, but I'm gonna have to go with Whiskey Myers. I've seen them a couple times. I saw them in a tiny venue in Missoula at the Wilma, and that was pretty fantastic the first time I saw them there. Or in Billings last summer, I saw them at the Blues Fest. And so, I mean, every time, I love their music. They just have such an energy about them that is unmatched. But I mean, I've seen the Eagles live, and Stapleton. I mean, I've seen so much awesome stuff that that's a really hard question. So.
Okay, you can bring one act, dead or alive, to Des Fest. Who you bring in?
Obviously I would say Whiskey but we don't have the infrastructure for that, right? So really was trying to lock down Tanner Ursery, and but probably Shane and the Saints. I'm gonna go with Shane and the Saints.
Good fit. All of them. You can still have Whiskey Myers because it's hypothetical. You can do whatever you want.
Right. Like we have the infrastructure, right? So that's what our goal is long term.
Absolutely. Patti, how do people find out more about Des Fest?
So if you Google Des Fest, you will find pretty much any outlet. Your Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the different our website. That is a really long name, but if you just Google Des Fest, you should be able to find that easily. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very good. Patti Des, Montana. Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Jake.
You're welcome.
Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine.